Hey. It seems I may have found an issue to the problems I was facing. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I can do regular live streams, fingers crossed. The sprint race is rather about to start in about 12 minutes, 10 minutes, 10, 12 minutes. Uh, let's get into qualifying before we get to the race. Quick shout out in qualifying to what's this guy's name? Ayogura, the second trackhouse bike in Q1. The trackhouse bikes were the, let's say, thorn in the backside of Pedro Acosta. There was a very, let's say, good possibility that Pedro didn't make it out of Q1 because Raul was on pace. Ayogura ended up losing time on his best run, coming towards the end of Sector 3 and then coming on to the main straight. So Ayogura missed out over there. Out of Q1, Raul Fernandez and Pedro Acosta made it out. And then in Q2, overall it was quite good, but then the problem that most riders had is the tires were only good for the one lap coming out of the pit box. The first push lap, second push lap, they sort of faded off unless if someone was saving some tires in the first push lap just to get a banker in and then to set the timing towers ablaze in the second push lap. Then a rider might have had some grip in the second push lap. Otherwise, it was just a one push lap kind of qualifying session. And Marco Bezzecchi ends up topping. I think this was his first lap coming out of the pit box with the new set of tires on the second run in Q2. That lap ended up standing. He also broke the lap record that Mark had set. I want to say last year. Not sure when exactly he set that lap record though. But it's broken. New lap record holder is Marco Bezzecchi. P2 is Raul Fernandez. Raul Fernandez, I didn't expect him to be that high up. I would have thought Jorge would have toppled him, but they were within a tenth of each other, Raul and Jorge. And Raul just edging ahead of Jorge. Jorge brought up P3. This means that in the home of Ducati, the Italian GP, there's no Ducati on the front row. It's a front row lockout, 4 Aprilias, 2 factory bikes, and a satellite bike. Ducatis bring up row 2, which is Marc Marquez, Fermin Aldeguer, and Pecco Bagnaia. P7 was DJ. P8 Diego Moreira. P9 Frankie. Frankie, I think, had an issue. He ended up having a squiggle out of one of the acceleration corners and then lost the rears a bit, so he ended up losing time over there. Pedro Acosta, it just didn't seem like he was the man to beat, but he ended up getting out of Q1. I thought, hey, maybe he might have had something in that machine of his, but not to be, especially for the higher end of the grid. He didn't have any pace. He's also the lead, I think, KTM. Who was it? Vinales and then Bender. I think they got knocked out in Q1. And then Eneo brings up P11, and Alex Rins was suspected to be last in Q2, ended up being last in Q2. So unfortunate for Alex over there. Didn't have pace, but he's the lead Yamaha in what's it called? In Q2. Let's just go through the rest of rest of the order. We start with P3 because the top 2 qualified. So Ayogura brings up P13, Brad Binder P14th. Joan Mir P15. Luca Marini ended up getting a 3-place grid penalty for riding slowly on the racing line. Ended up getting a 3-place drop. I'm not sure if that was confirmed or not, but I'm pretty sure I read that on a verified page. I didn't see it on the main MotoGP page, but that's why I'm a bit hesitant on whether that was true or not. Jack Miller brings up P17, Fabio Quartararo in P18, second Yamaha. And then you have Vinales P19, Toprak P20, Michele Piro, and Cal Crutchlow. Cal Crutchlow is the replacement rider for I'm missing his name. Joan Zarco. He's out with injuries. We saw the previous race weekend. He had a awkward, let's say, collision with the rear of Pecco's bike. Ended up being caught in the rear wheel arch. He was taken to France, and then he was taken for some minor surgeries, and then they were going to further monitor. That is what I remember last checking. Again, I didn't expect to go live. I didn't expect this issue to be solved. So I am a bit unprepared as to the what's it called? As to the recent newses and everything. I didn't pay too much attention. I didn't think I would be live, but we are here. What's Is this working? Is this working? Is this working? Unfortunately, I don't have an audience. Is this working? Whoa, whoa. Still not working. Still not working. Anyways, we are going to the sprint. We are close to the grid clearing out. Where is the stream? Can't find the stream. I have lost my stream. No. I have lost my stream. This is quite embarrassing. Yeah. Pretty sure if someone's new, you can pretty much tell that I am new to this whole shebang. Awkward conversations during awkward silence as I try and sort out some stuff. What do we think? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win while I see if this will respond or not? Who do you think is going to win this sprint? I think Jorge has more pace than Bezeki. I do think so. But I'm not sure. Bez was quite strong early in the year, but then it did end up coming to daylight that Bez was struggling with a lot of things on the bike in his riding style, and it just happened that Jorge suffered. Just happened that Jorge suffered the worst part of the luck, let's say. I think Jorge should edge it out. There is no doubt in my mind Jorge should edge it out. Right, we've got 11 laps to come around Mugello. Mugello is also quite a beautiful track, man, in the countryside, I want to say, of Tuscany. Beautiful track, man. Beautiful track. I was introduced to Mugello first in when was that F1 season? I want to say around 2021, I want to say. Cue the song. Song is playing. Stream has been found. Do we have is there something that I'm missing? Why do I feel like I'm missing something? I hate this feeling that I'm missing something. What am I missing? There shouldn't be anything that I'm missing. Am I missing something? Well, the chat's not working. Chat box is letting me down big time. Ooh, Mugello, high speed. Temple-ish of speed, man. That long straight. I don't know, it's about a kilometer long straight, man. It's huge. Bikes are on the grid. Bikes are getting ready for the warm-up lap. Whew. All Ducati second row, all Aprilia front row, in the home of Ducati, by the way. That Fabio Di Giannantonio, does he have anything in him? I think Fabio is going to be the key for Ducati's. Mark will take it easy. He should be what's it called, cautious. He's not at 100% fitness. I don't expect him to go all guns blazing, but again, he is Marc Marquez, opportunistic rider. He could just show a front wheel somewhere. Yes, all set. We are all set. Formation lap is a go. Right. Italian on pole. Jeez, man. Italians not really showing, what should I say? Not showing their hand in qualifying, making life difficult for them in the starts, not qualifying in the front row. What if something happens to the bike in front? Oh man, I don't know, every sprint race feels so important, especially if you're someone like Marc Marquez, who's so far in the championship, so far behind in the championship. Aprilia has been having some bad luck. Could you capitalize? Could you not? So you never know. Oh, it's going to be an interesting sprint. I'm just waiting for them to get back to the grid. They're just coming out of the final corner. Everyone is lining up down the pit straight. What do you think? What do you think Marc Marquez has? Anybody watching? Anyone at all? What do you think Marc Marquez has? I don't think he's gonna push for the podium. He's still having pain in his right arm. He'll push for the podium, but I don't think he's gonna get it. All the bikes have lined up. Red flag is showing. Everybody's in their positions. Ride height devices engaged. Bikes are squatting. Green flag is waving. Bikes are down. Riders ready. 5 lights on, 5 lights off. It's a great start actually for Marc Marquez. Even Jorge Martin, Bez slightly slower. Raul Fernandez almost leveled. Who's that? Jorge. Marc Marquez down the inside into turn one. Does he squeeze through on Jorge? He squeezes through on Jorge. He squeezed through Raul Fernandez as well. Marc Marquez with the inside line into turn one, into turn two, turns it out. Into turn three, gets squeezed out by Raul Fernandez and Jorge Martin, squeezing him out into turn three. Raul Fernandez leads Jorge Martin. Jorge Martin is followed by LCR Honda's. Who's that? Morera into the top three, for crying out loud, in the opening exchanges. Marc Marquez, who into turn one led, coming out of turn five, is now in P4. DJ has a decent start. DJ is in P6. Bez drops all the way down to P6. Off the line, he was slightly slower. He was leveled into the braking zone by both Raul Fernandez, Marc Marquez, and somewhere along the line by Jorge Martin as well. Jeez, man. Diego Moreira is in P3. Raul Fernandez leads Jorge Martin, and Marc Marquez is pushing behind Diego Moreira. Marc Marquez, though, coming under pressure from Fabio Di Giannantonio. Di Giannantonio down the left-hander, down the inside of the downhill left-hander, gets the position on Marc Marquez. Marc's dropped one position behind Digi. And Bez is now pushing on Marquez's rear tires. Yeah, Marquez is getting the wiggle on. He's losing his rears coming out the final corner. Oh, man, Marc, what a fantastic exchange he had in the opening lap. Jorge Martin gets the leg out. He's squirming under braking into turn one. Somehow keeps his braking markers. Stays behind Raul Fernandez. I thought he was gonna throw it down the inside and hope for something, hope for a Hail Mary. Not to be the case. Ended up being cautious. We on lap 2. Raul leads from Jorge. Jorge is getting closer to Raul bit by bit, especially in the opening sections into 3 and 4. Heading down 6 and 7. Jorge is just eyeing him up, and Diego Moreira is holding his own in P3. Di Giannantonio slowly, he's made quick work of Marquez. He's now looking to cut into Diego Moreira. Marc Marquez, though, he's in P5. Not sure he's got pace to push ahead. Again, it's not a left-hander heavy track. It's a right-hander heavy track. And Marc with all those surgeries on his right arm. Ooh. Might not work out in his favor, Marc. Oh, tires, man. Tires as well. People have gone for mediums. Some have gone for softs as well. Rear tires. Here comes Bez on Marc. Leveling him through the S's. Marc's just gone wide. Marc slightly pushed wider by Bez coming into the final corner. But then also Marc, I'm not sure he had his braking lined up for that final corner. Bez through the inside down the pit straight, easy work for him. And Marc has nothing. Marc can't even get the slipstream into turn 1 to pressure Bez again. Right at the start of lap 3, Raul Fernandez leads Jorge. Then there's a 1.2 second gap to Diego Moreira in P3. Digi, he's now caught up to Diego's rear tires. Bagnaia, though, this whole sprint so far, these 3 laps, I completely forgot that Bagnaia was there as well. Bagnaia is in P10. Bagnaia is behind Pedro Acosta. Finally just came to my attention. Bagnaia lunged down into... Ooh. Stole that line. That would be what, 10... That would be turn 12. Into turn 12, down the inside goes Didier on Diego Moreira, but Diego slightly pushing Digi through the whole curve actually. But then coming out, Digi gets his bike up and just bolts away. Digi up in P3. Problem for Digi though, can he get higher up on the podium positions? Digi is 1.6 seconds behind Jorge in P2. Jorge is led by Raul Fernandez. Satellite leads Factory Aprilia. Oh boy. Oh boy, Ducatis, this is just not your weekend, is it, Ducatis? It's just not your weekend, it turns out. Pedro's good down the straight, he's got decent acceleration, but the two constructors, Aprilia and Ducati, the best when it comes to turning in the corners. These two constructors are the best. Not sure Pedro can hold off on Pecco. Again, Pecco had a terrible start. He's in P10. What's his name? Pedro. I didn't expect him to be in the top running, but wherever he is, he's gonna put up a fight. Famin Aldeguer, he's holding off well in P7. He's a second behind Marc Marquez in P6. Famin again, slowly coming back to full health. Slowly coming back to full health, Famin Aldeguer. Oh man, those KTMs look unsettled, I tell you. Those KTMs look so unsettled. Skirmishes into the braking on acceleration as well. And Nea leads Pedro. Both of those KTMs are squirting. You don't know who's faster than the other. Both of them seem unsure under acceleration. That bike is doing too much. Oh, here we go. Here's the cut. Here's the cut on Bezzecchi. Bezzecchi gets through on Moreira into the final corner, makes it stick. Moreira coming out of the final corner gets a wiggle on. I think he had a slight wheelie, and then when that front wheel touched, got the slight wiggle on his bike. Coming into the first braking zone into turn 1, does Moreira line it up down the inside? Not really. Moreira doesn't have anything to challenge Bezzecchi into turn 1. Bezzecchi gets the place of P4 off Diego Moreira's hands. Moreira, by the way, has been given a track limits warning. The KTM squabbling it out into turn 1, nothing doing for them. They're just swapping positions. Pedro Costa, you slightly get the feeling that he's the one being held up. But again, how much pace realistically does he have? And then the problem is, how do you get through on Anea? Anea, one of the latest of breakers. How do you get through on Anea? Especially someone who has great late race pace. We're on lap 5. Anea slid out. Anea slid out. Yeah. Downhill braking. Both of those KTMs, man. Both those KTMs look so wobbly, man. Yeah, as he's about to tip it in, coming downhill, he just loses the front. That front washes out. Marc Marquez is now caught up to Diego Moreira, coming out the final corner. What does Marquez have? Does he have slipstream on his side? Does he have engine power on his side coming into turn 1? Yeah, he's lined up on the inside. Marx brakes slightly earlier. Moreira keeps position ahead into the braking zone, heading into the braking zone. Yeah, Diego's got it covered. Diego's got Marquez covered for P. This would be P5. Moreira dropping slightly. He's not got front running pace, but he had a great start that put him in the front. Frankie Morbidelli's crashed out. Yeah. So until qualifying, Fabio Di Giannantonio led every session this weekend, that being all the practice sessions, until qualifying when he got outdone by factory Aprilias and a satellite Aprilia. Does he have pace in him? Can he find 2 seconds? He might find 2 seconds. The problem is he's gonna run out of lap times. We on lap 6 out of 11, and Raul Fernandez has pulled off almost a second's worth of gap to Jorge Martin in P2. Jorge Martin as well, not under pressure from DJ in P3. There's a gap of about 1.5 seconds between the two. So you'd expect the top three to finish as is, unless someone pulls out some blistering pace later on. Mark again, getting close on Diego, getting close, pushing him along the long left-hander, the final corner. This time he's slightly closer, coming out the corner, coming down the pit straight. He's gonna look for the outside now, Marc Marquez. Morera with the inside. Does he brake later? Does he level him under braking? No, he doesn't. Marc got his braking wrong, ended up running wide, same as Diego. Both of them end up running wide, and Marc keeps position. Yeah, both of them ended up running wide. No chance for Diego for a cutback, and Marc's got position after they both made a mistake, Marc and Diego. Oh. Just showing the replay of the start. Marc got off well. Problem that Marc had was his front tire was in the air for quite a long time. As soon as it came down, there was a puff of smoke that came out. Oh man, a lot of guys fishtailing into turn 1. Again, just showing the replay of the start. 4 bikes abreast. Ayagura, one of the KTMs. Pecco, throw Fermin Aldeguer in there. 4 abreast into turn 1 on the start. Everyone got lucky that there was no contact, that everyone got their bike under control and got through pretty much unscathed. We're on lap 7 of 11. Fernandez leads Jorge by a second's gap. Jorge leads DJ by 1.5 seconds. That gap is more or less holding. The only realistic thing that can happen is Jorge can cut into Raul Fernandez. That is the most realistic fight or position change that I'm expecting on the podium. Unless if Bez, who is 1.7 seconds behind, Bez is in P4, DJ in P3. Can Bez cut down 1.7 seconds? Problem is, we're running out of laps. It's a sprint. It's not the full race. We're not going full race distance. We're on the start of lap 8, or lap 8 and a bit now. I don't think DJ is under pressure from Bez. I don't think Jorge is under pressure from DJ. But Jorge is cutting into Raul Fernandez. 0.770 is the gap. Joan Mir retires. Joan Mir being forced to retire, probably a technical issue on the bike. Not sure what happened. He just had a look back on the rear end of the bike. Not sure what happened. Probably some sort of contact, maybe. Raul Fernandez makes a mistake. He's run wide. Raul Fernandez, he's run wide. How much does that gap come down by? He's pulled out 2 seconds. He gained 2 seconds on Jorge, but then him running out in the next couple of corners undid all that hard work. That gap back down to 0.741. Jorge still chopping through. That gap's now under 0.7. It's around 0.6. Fermin Aldeguer has leveled Diego Morera. Just leveled Diego under braking. Took the racing line. And that was like taking candy from a baby for Fermin Aldeguer. Fermin Aldeguer up into P6 now. Marc stuck in P5. Yeah, never expected him to be pushing at the top. Thought if he got out early, he would stress himself. Ended up losing positions on the opening lap, on the later stages of the opening lap, and fell out. And since then, his pace has settled down. Raul Fernandez is losing time. Half a tenth he's lost into sector 1. Halfway through sector 2, the gap is 0.4 and a half tenths 4.5 tenths is the gap between Jorge and Raul. Jorge is the only one realistically who can cause a position change on the podium steps. DJ seems to be pulling ahead of Bez. Bez just not on the pace. He's just not on front running pace. Into sector 2, Jorge's lost out a tenth and a half. Into sector 2, he's lost out a tenth and a half. Net loss is a tenth because he gained half a tenth into sector 1. They just took out the sector splits. They were showing the sector splits, man. Now they just took them away from the screen. That's a shame. 3 laps to go. Jorge is chopping in on Raul Fernandez. Raul again had that mistake. If Jorge gets close enough, can he induce more mistakes from Raul Fernandez? Acosta, just showing a replay. Acosta, a couple of corners after Fermin took Morera. Acosta got through on Morera as well. Similar pace out front. Who's this? Acosta. Who is he leading? Acosta is leading Pecco. Pecco's leading Morera. Morera is leading Ayagura. Ayagura not having pace that his teammate has. Into turn 1 though, Ayagura pushes it down the inside into turn 1 of Diego Morera. Morera slowly fading away, even possibly now out of the top 10. Not sure the gap to Morera and Binder though. Binder is not in the picture, so he should be safe in P10. Pecco leading a 4-bike train. Well, 3-bike excluding him, 4 including him. 2 laps to go. 0.7, that gap goes back up to 0.7 between Fernandez and Jorge out front. Just yo-yoing, man. Yo-yoing. That gap is closing and extending, closing and extending, closing and extending. Raul Fernandez looks solid, man. He had that mistake where he ran wide. He's now got everything under control. He's actually eking that gap out even more. He's eking that gap out even more. It's almost 9 tenths now. Almost 9 tenths. 8.5 tenths at this point. With the mini sector split, it's been updated to 8.5 tenths. Coming out the final corner, down the pitch straight. Weighs it across the line. On the final lap, talk to me. What's the split? Half a tenth. Stays. Oh, sorry. 8.5 tenths. Stays. Jorge, though, into the braking. He's cut it down. He's cut down half a tenth on acceleration. Pecco Bagnaia had him under acceleration. Pecco Bagnaia had Pedro Acosta under acceleration down the pit straight. Into the braking. One of the late breakers, Pedro Acosta, made sure there was nothing doing. Pecco offsetting his line. Squared him up for turn 2. Made it through. Just about makes it through. What's his name? Pecco Bagnaia just made it through into turn 3 on Acosta. First took the inside, then turned it into the outside. Acosta back down to 8th. Ayagura using what Pecco did to offset Acosta, and Acosta trying to get back into a rhythm. Ayagura just fired it down the inside, made it stick. Right, we're on the last lap. Lead group is Raul Fernandez and Jorge Martin. That attack has faded away. Raul Fernandez brought that gap up to a second and a bit, a second and 2 tenths now, coming into the final corner. Yep, he's kept it on track, no twitches, he's just kept it clean. Raul Fernandez and Jorge both on the medium tire, possibly the slower tire compared to the soft rears. Raul Fernandez got the lead into turn 1. That turn 1 was a bit scruffy for a couple of bikes, couple of position swaps, but once he had clear air, Raul Fernandez kept everything in check. The closest Jorge Martin got was 4 tenths. 4 tenths, closest that gap got. Raul Fernandez takes the lead. And he wins the sprint race. Jorge in P2, DG rounds up the podium positions, and Bez, yeah, Bez from pole dropped down to P6, P7, recovered all the way to P4. Championship leader loses out some points. Championship leader loses out some points. Loses out some points. Ducati find one bike on the podium in their home race. In their home race. Raul Fernandez, man. A whole lot of things were going on in the Catalan GP with Raul Fernandez, Jorge. There was a lot being said that we all need to be a bit more smarter and everything. People were throwing quite a lot of blame on Raul. I think it was just a rider error at first, but then I don't know which camp it was. They were mentioning that Jorge was that Raul didn't expect Jorge to cut back so quickly. They expected Jorge to take a wider line into turn 5 in Catalan, but Jorge ended up cutting back on Raul, and yeah, you know, it was just rider errors from both sides. Both sides could have done better to avoid what happened in Catalan, and a lot of things were being made of about Raul Fernandez. Things finally ended up working out for the guy. Gets the sprint win. Raul Fernandez takes top step on the podium, sprint podium. Let's review the results. Can I pull out the results? Oh, yes, I can. Ooh, where is this? Yes. The sprint just finished. Raul Fernandez wins your MotoGP sprint of the Mugello race weekend. Is it Mugello race weekend? Basically, the Italian sprint goes to the name of Raul Fernandez. He ended up pulling out a 1.2, almost a 1.3 second gap to Jorge Martin back in P2. At some point, that gap, the closest it came was about 4.5 tenths. Apart from that, Raul pretty much after lap 2 onwards, it was pretty much plain sailing for him. Got everything under control. P3 Digi, Ducati get one bike on the podium, one bike on the sprint podium. Problem is, it's not the top step of the podium, and the factory Ducatis, yeah, not the sprint that they would have expected. Although from Mark, I was expecting around P4, P5, even P6. I would have been fine with Mark. Still struggling with the shoulder, still struggling with the surgeries and everything. So completely understandable for him to be slightly off the pace. We just did Digi, right? Yeah, Digi P3. Bez started on pole, ended up dropping quite far down, recovered all the way to P4. Couldn't close up to Digi for a all Aprilia podium lockout. Couldn't happen. Sure, that was pretty much the goal for Aprilia in the sprint. But tomorrow, with more laps, that dream might just come into reality. Marc Marquez P5. I mean, Aldeguer is doing well. He's doing well in P6. Again, let's not forget about 5 months ago, broke his femur, and he's been racing. He's raced all the races, all the weekends. He's been there. So I'm pretty sure he's not 100%, but he's getting there. He's getting there. Pecco Bagnaia, at some point, he was running P10, P11. Terrible start off the line. Battled quite a lot, lost out quite a lot. Ended up fighting all the way back to P7. I think he started in P7. And then Ayogura, not the pace of his teammate. But yeah, he lost out in qualifying in Q1. He lost out in qualifying Q1. That first lap he was going to set on the new tires on his second run. couldn't capitalize on that lap. Ended up not setting a lap time good enough to get into Q2. So he's made his life difficult this weekend. Raul Fernandez made his life easy this weekend, getting into Q2, qualifying right at the top. Pedro Costa, yeah, KTM's not your weekend. KTM's, it is not your weekend. Pedro Costa P9, Diego Moreira had a good early on pace. A blinding start, Diego Moreira, running in P3 for quite some time. Slowly ended up dropping down as the pace settled in, as riders got into their flow. He also settled in into his slot. I do think that, yeah, that bike is not good enough for top slots unless accidents occur at the top. But he's done well. He's done well. Top 10 finish for Diego Moreira. He's done well. Brad Binder P11. Alex Rins P12. Oh, went ahead of myself. Alex Rins P12. Yes. Rins P12, Luca Marini P13, Fabio Quartararo P14, Vinales in 15th, Top Gun, and then Jack Miller P16, Toprak P17, Michele Piro standing in for Alex Marquez P18, Carl Crutchlow standing in for Johan Zarco P19, and then you had two guys that did not finish, Enea Bastianini. I completely missed him retiring, but not sure it showed up on the screen that he retired, by the way. Joan Mir. What am I saying, man? Joan Mir. I think he had some contact, he had some damage, because as soon as he got off his bike, he had a look from the back end. Maybe some contact, maybe some damage. And Frankie, he I think he pulled out on the side. Oh, sorry, my bad. Aeneas' crash, we saw he slid out. It's Frankie's crash. We didn't see what happened to him. I just saw a shot of him standing with the marshals at the side of the track. This was your sprint weekend. I definitely was not expecting to come live. So for some of you that have been following the channel, started off doing live streams, but ended up running into some issues, couldn't do live streams, and I hoped I found a solution. So I basically just threw a Hail Mary and came live, ended up working. Connection's been stable pretty much this whole time, so we should be good to go from this point going forward, with live streams no longer recording videos as such. Yeah, again, I wasn't prepared to come live, so missed a lot of things. There's a lot of updates in MotoGP I've missed out on. So maybe tomorrow before the main race, we can cover through some of the updates in the world of MotoGP. But apart from that, that was it. This was your sprint. Raul Fernandez takes top spot. Jorge Martin P2. Digi P3. Great weekend for Aprilia. Great weekend for Aprilia. Ducati are under pressure for the main race. I'll catch you guys tomorrow just before the main race. We'll do the main race watch along as well, and then we'll go from there. Again, I need to get myself back into this thing of live streams rather than just recording videos. So bear with me early on when I start the live stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Like the video, comment what you thought about the sprint, who you thought would have won, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully just before the main race, the main Grand Prix. See you guys tomorrow.